Tearing out pieces of me to replace the broken pieces of you. Tearing out.
Hello, wealthy family, and welcome to today's Mindset Monday. Thank you for coming and sharing some time with me today. Today's video is brought to you by all these niggas that got me fucked up, okay? Listen, I have been on a streak because I have been in my ascension zone. I have been uplifted. I have been letting things roll off my back. And because I've done that and haven't been jumping up and haven't been as feisty, I think people feel that I've gone a little soft. So sometimes I got to remind them. Now, I know I told you all would see where I went, but I went back home. I'm from Miami, but I don't live there anymore. But I had to make a trip down to see some family down there. And when I called back up home to check on my grandfather, y'all know grandpa, he's 102. When I called to check on him, they told me that he wasn't doing well, that he'd been refusing food and drink. And I said, okay, that's weird because Wednesday I had him to my house. I cooked chicken. I made sweet potatoes, like smashed sweet potatoes, yeast roll, macaroni and cheese, and Brussels sprouts. And he ate everything on his plate. He didn't finish his yeast roll, but he ate everything else on his plate. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. Thursday when I went to check before I left, he was at the table eating. So I'm like, now I'm out of town. He's not doing well. I said, well, the hurricane's coming. Last time we had a hurricane 5 years ago, you all came to my house because my house was built hurricane proof. So I said, you all came. You know, we're not going to lose power. We have solar, backup generator, whatever. And I was like, you know, y'all are welcome to come. She said, no, I'm going to my son's house and I'm going to send your grandfather to hospice. And I was like, what? No, we're not going to do that, right? So long story short, she reminded me that I don't really have any true authority because I never got the power of attorney switched over in time. It had always been in her son's name. And I said, okay, you're right. You know, she's like, but I'll let you go ahead and keep him. I said, thanks. I said, I appreciate you letting him come to me. I think it's because they remembered that that house is in my name. So if anything were to happen to my grandfather and you wanted to be nasty and petty, you know, I could flex that muscle too. That's not who I want to be. But sometimes you got to remind a bitch. Sometimes you got to remind them, you know what? I've been nice and I've been kosher, but don't think that that makes me soft. I ain't pie. Okay? One thing I'm not is pie. And that's for all of us. Sometimes people will try to run over you because you're nice and cordial, and you have to remind them that they got you all the way fucked up. Sometimes you have to remind them that you're grown. Sometimes people will try you because they have this image of you of being, you know, the small sibling or the small child or, you know, the inferior coworker. And you have to remind them that you can take care of yourself. Now, this advice is not for people, not for my young people. I now have a young audience who are still dependent and reliant on their parents. I'm not telling you to go and be disrespectful to your parents. But I'm talking about grown people who sit here and let people run over you and you allow your respect to be trampled on. I'm talking to you. Sometimes you need to stand up for yourself. You need to take a moment, breathe deeply, run through a couple different scenarios, pick the best one that can fit the situation, and say what it is that you got to say. You got to get things off your chest. You got to let a person know. You got to let them know that just because I'm being cordial does not mean that I'm soft. I do have power in this situation. And although I allow you, right said person, to have a lot of power or authority over certain things, you don't hold all of it. I don't need you. Most of the time when you puff your chest and express your authority, most of the time those people that are being nasty to you will realize, they will remember that they're going to need you more than you need them. That nasty boss can't get things done because you handle it all. That nasty parent that always wants to come and interfere and meddle in your life, they need your energy more than you need them. That ungrateful child that doesn't know how to say thank you and feels that everything is is obligated to them, is owed to them. Sometimes you got to cut them off and let them think about it. You got to think about it. Let me put you in timeout so you can remember the value that I hold. The way how to take back your respect is to remember that you are valuable. Remember that you bring things to the table. And remember that you are able to take care of yourself. Olo dolo. You don't need anyone's assistance. And and if it is someone that you're getting assistance from because it would make your life easier, but they like to throw it up in your face, sometimes you have to say, screw your assistance. I'll struggle. I'll figure it out on my own. It'll be a little bit more difficult. It'll take a little bit more time, but I'd rather do that than to deal with your snarky ass attitude. And sometimes when you do that, the person will click. They'll be like, man, I didn't see it that way, or I didn't mean it that way, or I didn't feel this way. And you're like, too little, too late. Forget it, right? I'm done. Sometimes you got to tell a person that you're done. And sometimes you got to flex your big boy or big girl muscles and remind them that you're not some docile little animal and that you are not in the small picture that they see you in. A lot of times people like to flex and try you, right? They like to push the button because they still see you, like I said, as that little inferior person in a box. And sometimes you got to kick them walls down and let them know, listen, I'm not inferior. I'm right there with you. I don't hold you here at a pedestal. We're right here together. We're right here together. And although in the past you may have helped me, or you may be helping me in the present, is not something that I need or I depend on. I'm quite A-okay without it. Okay? So yeah, that's my short and simple Mindset Monday. Okay? I'm here with my babies. We got a hurricane coming. I'm around here fighting battles with my family because sometimes they got the goddess fucked up. But I got to remind them, right? There's two sides to everything. I can be the loving, doting, appreciative, docile goddess, or I can be the fear, havocing, wreaking, deep, deep, petty goddess. Because I got some shark in me, right? I believe I told y'all this before, right? Don't allow people to trample on your spirit. Reclaim your power, reclaim your respect, and be sure to puff your chest out when you do so. Okay? I love you all. That's it. Go be great. And let a person know that they got you messed up. You got me messed up if you think I'm going to continue da 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 da. And they'll be like, oh, I can't believe you did that. That's because they least expected it. And that's the best time to catch them, when they least expect it. All right, wealthy family, that's all I got for you today. You all go be great. Be safe if you're in the path of this hurricane. I hope you are well. Make sure you are prepared. It's not just a little bit of water and wind. It's moving slow, which means it's a lot of water and wind over a prolonged time, okay? I love you all. Until we connect again, stay alert, stay aware, and live in love. Peace.